Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank, you are listening, caring partner.
This week on Road to Success, our guest is Kenneth Ndua, who is creating products that are transforming life, not only in Kenya, but around Africa. This is a story from Thika you don't want to miss. Kenneth.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine.
It's so wonderful to be here. When we heard about your story, we had to come in and see what you are doing.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Before we take you, we need to give you some overalls and some safety equipment.
Okay.
We need everyone to be safe as they walk around in the workshop. Yes, so you need to put it on.
On this other side?
Yeah,
Okay.
the side.
And an overall. This
Yes.
is good. Safety is very key for you.
It's very key for us because you can get injured by many of the equipment that we use here.
Kenneth,
Yeah.
what is it that you do here?
Here we make cook stoves, but multitasking cook stoves. That is it's stoves that cook and they also sanitize water at the same time, making households incur very little cost in cooking, but also reduce the cost of that is associated with waterborne diseases.
What inspired this idea?
The whole idea was how to save households from high fuel cost and also from typhoid and cholera. I went out into the field as working there, and I find people dying because of simple diseases, just because they cannot afford to boil the water. So I looked at it and then I said, why not come up with an idea that can solve these problems? It's because many households cannot afford things like water guards, all that. So I came up with a stove that is able to cook and a family incurs zero cost in water sanitization.
Before this idea was inspired, this had nothing to do with what your background is.
My background is I used to work in HIV programming and teaching people on how to take care of orphan and vulnerable children, how to do projects at the community livelihoods project, particularly targeting people living with HIV. And I was also a part-time lecturer as in post teaching gender, sexuality and HIV. But I left all that 2010 to start building this slowly by slowly.
And how does it work?
The whole thing works in a very simple process. We've gone through a lot of R&D, research and development, until we're able to do such a stove. Every stove has got different components. This is a firewood stove. These firewood stoves go through a lot of processes. We start with making what we call the water jackets. So there's something we call the water jacket that we make here. We do a lot of innovation and a lot of conversions here. So because it was a very costly thing, so we've done our own conversions and made a water jacket. And then we have what we call the fire chamber. It's all metallic. And then we're able to put it here. So we're able to create something at the end of the day that looks like this. So here we have this is the water entry, and then we have a tap here that we put here. So we put a tap there. So generally the stove, it's all metallic and it's so well insulated. So somebody uses very little pieces of firewood here and they put 3 liters of water here. So what we do is with this innovation is as you do your cooking here on the top here with your sufuria, there's a lot of heat that gets wasted. So we trap that heat, and that's the heat that we use for sanitizing water. So what we are doing is we're exposing the water to very high temperatures. So all disease-causing microorganisms are killed by that heat. So a family gets safe drinking water. So every 15 minutes of cooking, a household gets 3 liters of safe drinking water, clean water and safe from disease-causing microorganisms. And they incur zero cost on water sanitization. The only cost that you incur is the cooking. But for water sanitization, it's zero cost. So that means zero cost on treating waterborne diseases.
And how long did it take for you to finally develop a product, a Jiko like this?
With the designs, I worked with my designs to the Juakari, and within a day we had actualized one idea.
Oh.
Yes, because I already had the designs. But we realized there was so many defects in the whole thing. We kept on struggling with water leakages. We kept on struggling with the materials, and it kind of like marked a journey, whereby we now started doing the R&D.
That is what is so inspiring about you, because you started this by seeing a need in the community.
Yes.
And then you did this from your own pocket.
Yes, I did from my own pocket. Actually, I used quite some substantial amount of money, and because I used around 2.8
to change a community,
yes,
to transform lives.
To transform lives. So I would earn money from some other quota. So I'd always use 30% of that to actualize this idea. And people would think I'm sick and crazy. I had a lot of quarrels with many people, but I kept following my passion and left everything because this was my passion.
And how much does it cost to come up with a jiko like this?
Right now, we've been able to reduce. Initially, it used to cost me around 5,000 to make a jiko. But through some research and some innovations, looking for different materials, it's now cost me 2,200 to make this jiko. That includes the labor cost and everything, all the cost, all the overheads. So and then so the total cost comes to 2,200. And by that time, we have even packaged the whole thing. And
who do you sell them to?
Right now, we are selling directly to the women groups. There are some NGOs who've been buying from us. Right now, we have there's an NGO called GVEP. GVEP deals with helping entrepreneurs. They already are taking our jikos to SACCOs. Like now, they have been helping us take our jikos to different avenues. Like this week, I'll be taking 10 jikos. They are taking to Homa Bay, to the SACCOs. So they do that connection. So generally, we target the people there at the grassroots. So because we go and activate our product at that level, and then we create the need and show them how the innovation works, then they can be able to start ordering. And some NGOs run about it, some newspaper people run about it, they write about us, then the bigger brothers, the bigger people now, the people with the money come to us to buy for the different communities.
Even as an individual,
yes.
Would I be able to afford a jiko like this?
Yes, you would, because the jiko retails at 3,000 shillings. Because what we do is there's a markup that we sell it to the vendors and they sell to the communities right there. How they're able to afford is there's what you call the table banking at the communities. There are CSOs, there are microfinance, there are banks that would be able to give people loans. So they're able to secure those small loans from those people, and then they're able to buy from us. Majority of them, what you've seen them doing is they pool resources and they buy like 2 stoves every month for a certain women. And that way they're able to get the stoves in their households.
Kennedy, we must take a break. But when we come back, we'd like to know, how did you transit from being a social worker, really doing this on your own at home, into an empire, which is a Jiko Kenya, Jiko Africa? You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our guest is Kenneth Ndua of Stamp Investments.
Yeah.
Interesting name
for
a company. What inspired the name Stamp Investments?
Stamp Investments is an acronym. I used to see my struggles, and I used to do a lot of mentorship programs with young entrepreneurs and innovators. So I thought of having something that can really actualize this. So S stands for synchronizing. So you synchronize, you look at your ideas, and then when you look at those ideas, you go to T, which stands for training. So you equip yourself, and then when you equip yourself, you need to move, because we're using the model of an airplane. When you train a pilot, the next thing they do in an airplane is you need to go to the taxiway, which is training, and then you ascend. So when you ascend, now you start the journey, and then you maintain, and then you position yourself for success.
And the Stamp, you have 2 different products.
Yes, we have 2 different products. One of the products is the Jiko Kenya, a multitasking crane cook stove that cooks and sanitized water. That's 3 liters. This one uses 75% less firewood compared to the 3 stones, and smoke levels is reduced by over 65%. So then there is another product. It's called Jiko Africa. The Jiko Africa uses charcoal and briquettes, and that's 2 liters of water. It's a smokeless kind of a Jiko. How we came up with the names?
Yes.
The Jiko Africa, there's a group of women, because when I was doing the R&D, I would design the stove and take it to the women. They'll give their feedback. We had different names for it, but the women kept on insisting it's a Kenyan thing, it's a Kenyan thing. So they kept on saying it's Jiko Kenya, Jiko Kenya. So anytime I take a different name, they say no. And so we named it Jiko Kenya. The Jiko Africa was because I've been able to travel a lot because of this Jiko, and going to different competitions in around Africa and outside Africa. And people would keep on challenging us to come with a product that can be adaptable even to other places. They
Other
can use
African countries.
So that's how we came with Jiko Africa. It's a Jiko for Africa, it's a Jiko for Kenya.
How was this, your Jiko, received in the market?
People are excited, but the challenge we had was because I could only do a few of them, and the workmanship. I did not have my own workshop. I literally had to outsource services. And sometimes I would give people the contract, and they would do what I never asked them to do. So, and that in a way kind of like did put me off, because sometimes you would sell a Jiko and someone would go and get problems with that Jiko.
What kind of problems do they get?
Have water leakages. I remember one time I did a Jiko that is there, and somebody would use glue stick to stick the mabatis together in the Juakar. I did not know, and sometimes when you come, a customer is waiting for that product. I'll have some institution, we agree with them, make these Jikos for me. When I'm going to pick them for the customer, the guys have decided to hike the price. I've already negotiated the price, and he thinks I'll earn more money, so they hike the price. Sometimes people disappear with your money. It hasn't been an easy journey. So as much as people really like the product, sometimes I was not even able to supply it.
What lessons have you learned within the years?
There are 3 critical things I would say I've learned. One is believe in yourself, okay? And the other thing, another lesson I've learned is not everybody will come to you and they're interested in whatever you're doing. So you have to be very careful. Who do you associate with? The other lesson I've learned that is very critical for small enterprises as an innovator. Sometimes people would come to you and they tell you they're innovators, they are good. It's always good to carry background checks for even the people you employ.
How have you protected your innovation?
We've done the actual logging in of the documents and the drawings, the technical drawings with Kipi, and we've started the process. It's a very tedious process in Kenya. You go through a lot of so many things, but we do hope before the end of this year we'll have our patents with us, because it takes 18 months for you to get a patent. From the day you protected it up to the time you get the certificate, it takes around 18 months. So after 18 months, that's when you can maybe get your certificate after that.
Is there competition in this? Because we have seen a lot of this Jiko.
The most greatest thing about us, all the stoves currently in the market, and we've even traveled outside there and even talked to people from outside there, we don't have a stove in Kenya that does what we do, that cooks and sanitizes water. So we have, that's a competitive edge that we have. We have a stove that multitasks, but the other stoves from our competitors, which is also very healthy, is only a stove that cooks. That is it. And as we told you, within the next 2 months, this stove will also be producing electricity. So that also be another combination. So we'll be having 3 things happening in a stove. So what we are doing is, as our competitors try to reach where we are, we keep on improving on our products.
And the future for Stamp investments?
Stamp will be a multinational in 2 to 3 years. That's the dream. It's a Kenya indigenous company that will get there, but will not lose our focus. Our focus will be social innovation and social transformation.
Transforming lives.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, for your time.